I just felt like we needed to do this. We needed to come together. You all need your tribe now more than ever. Okay? Our brains are wired for fight or flight. Okay? This is what we do. But you all are entrepreneurs. You are innovators. So when the herd is going this way, you're going this way. Do you understand that? This is the time for all of us, me included, to stand up and lead. This is what you've been trained for all these years. This is the time that your clients, your customers need you now more than ever. Right, Kristen? This is the time that your employees need you more than ever. Your team, they're scared, right? This is where you are going to be that bright light. This is where you are going to shine a path ahead for them. This is where you are going to teach them that you can look at uncertainty as something scary, or you can look at it as a new door. An opening to a new adventure, a new way. Because this is the world that we live in. Whether it's a virus or the economy or AI, which is like here, they already have self-driving cars in Vegas. Okay, it's happening. You as entrepreneurs need to be that leader of creativity, that leader of innovation, flexibility, being able to pivot on a dime. This is how you thrive, and this is how you lead. Do you get that? Do you get that? All right. And we're going to talk a lot about this today, and we're going to dive into it. We're going to work on it and all of that. This is not the time to get lost in fear. Right? And that's why you all are here today. Are you excited? Okay. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I am excited. So let me tell you, in April, we had 2 events planned. We canceled. In May, we had an event in London and Amsterdam. We canceled. All right? There was a lot of plans going on to make those things happen. You know, a lot that our business was counting on, you know, a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of ad spend already on those things, okay? So I could be like, oh my God, what are we going to do, right? I've got a team. There's a lot of people counting on me, right? No, I feel like in these times are when I get to do my best work. This is where I get to be most creative. I'm like, okay, I got April and May open. I wasn't expecting this. Okay? Number 1, we get to take a breath. Number 1, we get to pause and take a breath and think about what we're going to do. Right? Which we don't always get the luxury of. And I'm excited because we get to get creative. We get to come up with new revenue streams. We get to come up with new content. We get to come up with new ways to reach our customers. And so when we get to the other side of this, which we will, it always does, we're going to be ahead of the game. We're going to be ahead of the game because we're going to have the revenue streams that we didn't have before, right? And you're going to be more resilient than you've ever been before. So in 35 years of running companies, let me tell you, we've hit the wall many times. This is what you were born for. Do you hear me? This is what you were born for. This is where you can shine. All right? So I hustled my team together in this last week, a marketing team, and we put together, I'll show it to you in a little bit, we're doing a webinar on Thursday, How to Thrive. Did anyone get that? I don't know if it showed up on social media. How to thrive in upheaval and scale in an uncertain economy. Okay, I'll show it to you in a little bit. We're doing it live on Thursday, and then I'm going to do a 3-part course on this. I will do it. I will record it live. We will sell it. You see, you have to pivot and shift and capitalize it with integrity and come from a place of support. And you turn things on a dime. We got a webinar page up. We've got ads going. So instead of getting sucked into the fear, it's like, okay, what are we going to do? We're not having the events, so what are we going to do? How are we going to pivot? So today we're going to talk a lot about how we're going to pivot. And how are you going to reach more people than ever? And thank God for the internet, right? Okay, because if this had happened, let's say 15 years ago even, people would not, we had internet, but we didn't have a lot of the tools that we have now. So we will go into all of this. How does this sound? Is this sounding good for you? There are more billionaires made in a down economy than any other time in history. And I'll share many examples of that. But the key is that you create your own path. Well, everybody's going this way, you're going this way. And that's what we're going to figure out today. That creativity. All right, so how to thrive during upheaval and shift your mind to a state of abundance. Okay? That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. And there's a lot of uncertainty, like I said, but this is the time that you can get most innovative and shine. This is not the first time in history that there's been change, right? We've been through this before in different ways, And this is opportunities for you all to rise, to pivot, to be more innovative. What energy are you choosing to tap into? That's the thing. If you're on social media and you're just sitting there reading people's comments, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You got to disconnect from that, people. I mean, I'm all about putting content out and putting social media, but I'm not there sitting there reading my feed. You know, do not do that. That will suck you in, right? And you're going to get caught up in that energy. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to create that exact thing, right, Jen? You guys all know about that story that I had, that what happened to me in 2009 when all my clients were coming in talking about doomsday, oh my God, the market's going to collapse, right? And I was like, I'm not, tuning into that because I understand energy. Like attracts like. Law of similars. This is back into the Roman times, Hippocrates, quantum physics, however you want to look at it. And so I said, I'm not tapping into that because I know there is abundance in the world. Everywhere. Everywhere. And that's what I'm going to tap into. But what happened back then, and this was a lesson for me, I kept saying I'm not tapping in. And then I found myself vulnerable, right? Not meditating, not really focusing, not doing my visualization. I got sucked into their story, and all of a sudden my phone stopped ringing. Like dead stopped ringing. And I'm like, holy crap. And first I got afraid, and then I went, oh my God, Allison, you are creating this. You are so creating this right now. So I sat on the beach, I meditated, and you know what I visualized? I visualized my clients thriving. I visualized helping as many people as I could, and I visualized them going on and leading amazing lives. And I focused on that. I shifted my energy. I raised my vibration. And I know that sounds woo-woo to some of you, and sorry. It doesn't? Okay, good. Well, I am woo-woo anyway. I'm a woo-woo girl in a white suit. So, and gold shoes. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but so when I did that, the very next day my phone started ringing. The very next day. So what are you choosing to tap into? There is upheaval. There's uncertainty in the economy. But this is not your enemy. Let me tell you, there are the smart business owners out there. They're like, I cannot wait till the market drops because, man, I'm going to buy. This is the time to invest. And when people pull away, they lose. This is the time that you go all in. So you have two choices. You can allow your emotions to take over. You can allow your emotions to take over you and run you, or you can realize that you're bigger than your emotions, and you can get creative and you can say, how are we going to expand? How are we going to capitalize on this and expand? And that's why you have Pinnacle. That's why you're here, because we are going to help you do that. Now, the other thing is when you get into that place of fear, and I'm sure it will creep up, that is this is your practice. It's like meditation practice. You've got to tap back into your why. And if that means writing it out, if that means reading your big picture vision, if that means calling your other Pinnacle members and let's talk about our whys. Why do we do that? Because what your why does is it gets you to that 30,000 foot view. And it pulls you out of the muckety muck. It pulls you out of the minutia of the worry. Right? It helps you to look at the big picture and to focus on what you're grateful for. What you're grateful for. Right? How blessed you are to be a business owner, to be able to pivot, to be able to get creative. This is the fun part. This is where you get to focus on innovation. New revenue ideas, loopholes, new ways of doing things. Right? Now I'm creating all new content. I've been wanting to do this forever, to create these products. I didn't feel like I had the time to do it, and now I do. So this is going to be a whole lead-in for people that are just getting to know me for the first time, going to have a product and be able to learn from me. See what I'm saying? So it is about staying on top and leveraging the opportunities. And we're going to work on that today. It's pivots, it's turnarounds, it's elevations. And it's also being very, very sharp with your time. It's super important right now that you get focused on your top 20%. What is really going to be driving revenue? Your top 20% actions in all your life. Everything you do, you should be getting an ROI. Your time with your team, your time with your family. Like, be very, don't squander your time. Don't squander your energy. Be very focused and selective. Okay? This would be the time to drop the things that are not serving you, right? That are not driving in cash flow, enjoyment. This is the time to shift upwards. All right, there's a little typo in there, I just noticed. Focus on what gives you the most value and the most joy. The most value, the most joy, and the most profit. So, just some examples. Leggo grew 63% during the last recession. Okay? So what they did was the market they were in, being in the US, was not doing so hot. So they went into other markets. They found other countries to sell their products. Okay? So this will be a really good time for expansion. This is the time to get creative, right? Find territories that are thriving and target those markets. You know, a lot of you have started going virtual with your businesses. We were also talking with Lisa last night of doing virtual wine happy hours, right? Right? People are wanting that connection. It doesn't have to be something that's been done before. You get to reinvent yourself right now. Domino's Pizza came out during the last recession, and they made a very bold move. They stood up and said, "Our pizza is crappy." Seriously, do you guys remember this? They stood up and said, "Our pizza tastes terrible." They were have been known for delivery, not great pizza. Like Domino's was the thing to get when everything else was closed, right? Nobody really liked their pizza, but they wanted pizza. It was arrive 30 minutes or less and you get the pizza for free. It was never like, hey, enjoy great pizza. So what did they do? They stood up and they said, we have crappy pizza. So we're creating a new recipe. And it was such a huge hit. Their profit soared. Let me tell you, you guys hear me say this all the time. It's not about working harder. It is about being creative right now. It's creative strategy, and that's what scaling is all about. What is your one to many? If you're having trouble with sales, and some of you might with the audience you've been working with, find another audience. Because there's always people out there with a lot of money. Okay? Don't keep beating your head against the wall. I was telling some people in Pinnacle, I can't remember who I was talking to, but we just got back from 2 weeks of travel, and I spoke at WeBank in New York, in DC. I got to be in the head office, and then I did an event in Las Vegas called Elevate on my way back from DC, and had some fun in the midst of it all. And so when Mike and I were in New York, and we were, and it was also WPEO, which is Women's President Educational Organization. And does anyone here not know what WeBank is? Raise your hand. Okay. So WeBank is a certifying body. So she's dying over here because that's her business, Heather. Is a certifying body certifying minority-owned businesses, and I know I always screw this up. Okay, minority-owned business, not just women, but it's also, well, I'll let you do it at another time. But, so I've been certified for 3.5 years now, because Robin, was pushing me for the longest time. Of course, I didn't listen, So anyway, they are, how many of you found us from either a WeBank webinar or event that I did? Yeah. So it's a great audience for us because you guys get what we talk about, right? So we talk, they're like, oh my God, that's me. So when we were in New York, it was a line of people signing up for our event in August. So coming from the East Coast, we have a lot. And same thing when we went to DC. Perfect audience. Then we went to this event in Vegas, and we had 3 people sign up. Great people, nothing wrong. I'm glad that I delivered, but it wasn't the best use of my time. And sometimes you don't know that until you do it, okay? But I won't be speaking there again. And my point is that don't keep, if you're selling to a market and it's not working, it doesn't always mean, it could be that people don't understand what you're selling. It could be a lot of different things, but don't keep trying to sell to the same market when it's not working. Expand to another market. But that was super clear to me. Same exact talk. One had a total line and one had a few. Okay? Not a market match. Okay. Marketing creatively. We've got to market in a new way, right? This is, right, so we don't have events in April and May. We've got to market in a new way. So does that mean doing Facebook Lives? Does it mean doing summits? It's doing more webinars, doing some things on LinkedIn. We'll be talking about all this stuff today. So I want to give you an example of what I mean by marketing creatively. Is it warm in here? No? It is? Okay. I'm sweating. Maybe it's the lights. Yeah. I'm always cold, so I knew something's wrong when I'm getting warm. So, again, my market is established business owners, right? They've been in business for a while and they want to take it to the next level. Not just women, men too. We love you, men. We love you, men, right? Don't we? We love the guys. But WeBank, again, great organization. So I realized, you know what? They don't have a podcast. They don't have their own podcast. So I proposed, it took me a while to get up to the ladder with this. It was a process. And let me tell you, some people talk about going into that organization and just start selling. You do not do that. Just like in Pinnacle, you do not do that. You build relationships, okay? And I've been doing that for the last 3+ years. So when I approached them and said, hey, let me produce your podcast. Let me host it. Let me produce it. Let me interview guests for you. It will be the WeBank podcast. Let's go ahead and show this screen. show the slide. So you're looking at the new host and producer of the WeBank podcast, Women Who Own It. And so it will be coming out soon. We're going to be interviewing some really cool people. So I'm so honored, first of all, to be able to do this. I'm so excited for the people that I'm going to meet. And some great people will be able to bring as speakers for our events. This puts me right, the visibility, incredible. But I'm not running ads. I mean, we're already doing the podcast. It's really not hard to do, people. It is really easy to do a Zoom and interview somebody, right? This is not hard. And I'm working with their team. Again, the visibility is incredible. I'm sharing this with you because there are ways to get in front of your target audience that don't hardly cost anything. Get creative. Think outside of the box. They're so happy because they don't have to produce it or mess with it. But now they're finally going to have this podcast. Okay. During these times, you're going to need to have things speed up for you. You're going to need to expect more from your team. Okay? You're going to have to, like I had this week, we had to act fast to get this page up so that I could be along with what's going on and host this webinar next week, right? You got to raise the bar and really enlist with them how we've got to come together as a team and make this happen and get creative. Get extra capital right now. If you can, I don't mean go spend it. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have credit lines, every year we go back and increase our credit line. We're working on doing that as we speak, okay? And if you're like, well, the bank won't give it to me. They will. You just got to go to another one or another one. I think Kendra Scott said she got turned down by about 20 banks. And this was during the recession. Okay, she went retail all in, totally innovative in 2009. Okay, this is when everybody was shutting their doors. She has $1 billion company now. Okay, so I recommend when you get back, there are lots of different sources of funding, but just have it. Just have it in your back pocket. Again, more billionaires have been created during a down economy. This is the best time for you guys to thrive. You want to know, you're worried about your competition, man, this is the time that you get to stand out. And what our speaker is going to be sharing is how to stand out, of course. So why is it great? You get to negotiate leases, salaries, product development, better deals with suppliers. There's going to be room to negotiate. Let me tell you, for the last several years, are any of the hotel people in here? It's really been hard to negotiate with the hotels. Boy, we're going to be able to really negotiate now. Right? They haven't been that easy to work with, man. But that's changing. So credit card interest rates. Go back to your credit card companies and get your interest rates down. This is going to be a great time to buy businesses. Right? This is going to be a great time to buy businesses. And Marshall is good with that. He's not here right now, but I know he's coming. There are people that are going to want to sell. And this is a great way to scale. Buy your competition. Okay. For cash flow, take larger deposits up front, shorter terms, discount, give specials for people that pay in full. Do special things for your great customers. This is the time that you need to give more value than you've ever given before. This is the time that you need to give to your customers more than ever before. Right? This is about you showing up and giving more value. I'm not saying giving your product and service away. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying show up and give more value. Show up as the leader in your industry. What can you do, like I said, that's different than everybody else? What's an add-on value that you can give? Know who you are, be who you are, sell who you are. Don't be afraid to stand up and talk about what you stand for. Right? That's why I'm here today. That's why I'm here today. Do you guys get that? This is the time for your voice to be heard more than ever. So if you're the one that's been hiding behind the computer, all right, you need to get on video. You need to get on video. Right, Darcy? It's time to build that personal brand. I see it from your tractor. You can be on the video. Every one of you has a unique personality, something really cool to share. Stand up, talk about it. Talk about what you're most excited about. That's what people need right now. Don't get stuck in other people's story. It's so easy. You know how we talk about the old story, new story? You're going to hear a lot of stories. You're going to be hearing for the next while a lot of stories. Lots of stories. Lots of stories. Things aren't working. Oh my God. What are you going to do in that moment? Are you going to be prepared? You're going to tell a different story. Or are you going to surround yourself with people that are sharing the story that you need to hear, that's going to uplift you? Don't get sucked in their story. And don't be codependent on the story of the day. What I mean by that, does anyone know what codependency is? Okay, hello. I'm like the poster child of codependency, okay? I've worked through it my entire life. Right, honey? He's looking at me like, what's she talking about? What I mean that is that when your mood, is affected by other people's actions. When you lose your happiness based on other people's actions, you are being codependent. And what that means is that you're giving your power away to what's happening in the news, what's happening on social media, what's happening on, whatever. That means that you have completely lost your power. And you're flailing depending on where they're moving. That's a scary place to be. So whatever you need to do to ground yourself and see that you can create joy on your own. No matter what other people are doing around you. Do you get that? Do you get that? Okay. All right. And then share your vision with everybody. Talk about your vision. This is the time your voice needs to be heard. Stand up, talk about it, get on video, get on Facebook Live, call your customers, pick up the phone, tell them that you're thinking about them, you care about them, you're here for them. Tell them what you're doing in the world. Talk about your big vision. You guys have created your big picture vision, right? Hello? You've created your big picture vision. Giles, they've all created their big picture vision, right? Yes. All right. This is where you need to take it out. Read it every day. Read it every day. It will inspire you and it will inspire your team. If you're hiring people, read that to them. Read it to your customers. Let people know what you're creating in the world. Become a master of your time and your energy. This is the time that you've got to step it up. And when you start to kind of sway or get lost, we're going to reel you back in and remind you that you are the master of your universe. As I said, you want to be continually reinvesting in yourself, in your business. This is the time to double down. Be that light for the people around you. You are an abundant being. And whatever you need is out there. It's tapping into it and drawing it in. And lastly, I will share the story of the bamboo. And many of you have heard this before, but I want to remind you, for those of you that feel like, okay, I started Pinnacle in January and I haven't made my extra $1 million yet. I know you. I know you. How's it going on the chat over there, Giles? Good? I'll come over and say hi to you guys in a little bit. I'm so happy that you're here today and tuning in with us. So thank you so much. So the Chinese bamboo tree is like your business. It requires nurturing and watering, and you guys are shifting and you're course correcting, you're building things, you're hiring people, you're creating new content, you're doing all kinds of things, and there's a feeling like, why isn't it happening yet? Why isn't it happening yet? I don't understand. I should be. They're further along. They're making more money than me. Stop comparing. The comparing game means you're putting yourself down. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you're saying, I'm not good enough. Do you get that? Stop it. Stop it. You are creating movement. Sometimes it feels like you're running in molasses, like you're in those dreams at night where you're running and you're not moving forward. You know that feeling? And you might feel like that at times in your business. But that's just because you're building. You don't see the fruits of your labor yet. But like the bamboo, that you're nurturing it, you're watering it for 5 years. Nothing. 80 feet in 6 weeks after 5 years. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it's, you guys are going, it's going to take us 5 years? Is that what she's saying? No. This is an analogy or this is a metaphor, people. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there is movement. You just may not see the results of it yet, but you will. So for those of you that are our 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because it just continues to evolve and grow and go to new heights. But it takes a little bit of time to start pulling things together. So by October, by November, you're going to look back and go, holy crap, look at what I've done. I'm amazing. All right? So we are in a quick fix society, right? And that's not always how it works. So, you know, I'm blessed to understand that, being a homeopath for all these years and working with clients. Like by the 6-month mark, there was massive changes. But along the way, you may not see a lot, and then all of a sudden, huge changes. And then by a year, you're like a different person. Completely unbelievable. But people would be like, 6 months? It's like, yeah, you've been sick for 10 years. So we get impatient, you know, we get frustrated. It's like, what's going on now? Okay? This is an opportunity to hit the pause button and get creative. Use this time as a gift. So I love this story. This guy is a jockey. He lost his first 250 races. He lost them, all of them. And he has been the most successful jockey over time, winning the most triple crowns of anybody. Okay? I love these stories because what did he have? He had tenacity. He had persistence. And he wasn't afraid to fail. He did a lot of R&D, research and development. Okay? Was my past marriage, was research and development. Yeah, I did a few years of that. I was just making myself better for you, honey. So Kendra Scott, I shared already the story about her. So, you deserve to be rich. You deserve to be wealthy. And I know for some of you, that might be a trigger, right? Oh my God, can I really say that? That I deserve to be wealthy? You work hard, people. You're changing lives. And guess what you get to do with that wealth? You get to help other people grow and be abundant. You get to give back. You get to change the world. So until you own the fact that, yes, you deserve to be rich, and you own it, it's not going to happen. This is super important. I see so many people sabotage themselves. They're doing everything right, and right before the cash is supposed to come in, their mind says, I don't deserve this. Who am I to be wealthy? And they sabotage it. You got to work on this. This is your mindset. You deserve to be rich. Is this true? Yes. All right, let's repeat after me. I deserve to be rich. That's okay. This is good. Was that hard for anybody to say? Raise your hand. Anybody? No one had a problem with that. Did you? A little bit? All right, let's say it again. Yeah. Hallelujah. Let's hear it in the chat, baby. Type it out. I deserve to be rich. Okay. All right. This is a time to lead and empower your team confidently. This is the time to step up as a leader and help those around you to see that they deserve joy, happiness, and abundance. Right? And Gina is so powerful that went through her entire cancer ordeal while she continued to mentor and be involved in this community. She is such an inspiration. And what was your mantra the whole time? Choose joy. Right? And I truly believe that was the most powerful healer. You all are change makers. You're visionaries. The world needs you right now more than ever. Right? You guys good with that?